The Zcash team has crashed out, which feels timely because we were just talking about them last week, but more on that in a second. Welcome to Cryptocurrents, the weekly podcast about crypto, blockchain, fintech, everything you need to know to get better about crypto and everything that finance has to offer 1 week at a time. Think of us like your New Year's resolution, except you just have to show up and listen to us and you'll get smarter every week. I'm your host, Vince, and today I'm joined by our resident degen, Kale.
Hello, hello.
And Katya from the Mew team.
Hey there.
So we'll talk about the Zcash team crashing out at the end of the show, but to kick things off, I want to talk about Morgan Stanley, who is planning to launch a wallet focused on RWAs. And RWAs, if you don't know what that silly acronym is, stands for real world assets, which is a silly way to describe tokenized stocks, because clearly crypto needs help when it comes to language. But it's really funny because they're like, yeah, by the end of 2026, we're going to do this, which means December. And it was just funny, like, as I was reading about this, I'm like, A, why does everyone, when they're like, we want to get involved to make a wallet, it's silly. And B, I didn't remember that they owned E-Trade. And I'm like, oh, this wallet is going to look like absolute jank because E-Trade looks like it's an Excel spreadsheet.
For real.
So this doesn't really have me excited. It just kind of feels like another company trying to jump back into blockchain tech without really understanding it or having like any sort of like major skin in the game. It always kind of reminds me of like when every company was like, we're going to do a Web3 offering and NFTs. And I still have some of those stupid Starbucks NFTs. But
You
talk
were
to me,
excited
guys.
about them in the moment, though. I remember
know.
you being like, all, getting in on it.
Well, they had utility. Like, it was the only thing that had utility. And I was like, oh, hey, look, someone actually understands this a little bit.
The mechanism was
talk to
cool
me-
for a little bit.
Yeah. Talk to me about Morgan Stanley, guys. What do you think?
I mean, I agree that it's funny to me how they're like, oh, we'll do a wallet. And it's like, it's for tokenized assets, stocks, and tokenized private equity. Why? So let's imagine a future where tokenized everything, RWAs, are now really like going, like everything is legal and everything is cleared, and you want a wallet for it. Like, why would you use the Morgan Stanley wallet specifically if these stocks are tokenized and are available everywhere? Unless they're going to keep a gated garden and like that they will only have this like some private equity that's tokenized that's only available in their wallet.
100%.
But then it's like such a jank experience for users where you would have to get 10 different wallets to get like, a total of 30 different tokenized assets that you're interested in. So yeah, like it's not. There are kind of, I guess, interesting ways to jump into crypto, but I don't think like what they're doing is, and they're kind of behind because now they're like, we'll let people trade BTC, ETH, and Sol on E-Trade, and it's like,
I didn't even know they didn't offer that yet. Like, it's like,
I know, right? It's like,
who is this for?
Dude, seriously, a little late.
Yeah, like a little late. Like everybody who wants to trade that has been doing it. Like they're not gonna have to go. So yeah, it's kind of like, how do you do, fellow kids kind of deal.
No, for real, dude. If Morgan Stanley thinks that they're just gonna come in here and be the wallet, no, dude, hell no. Like, there's so many teams that are building wallets, and like, of course, we've talked about this before, like how big companies like JP Morgan types will like come in and kind of have an advantage just because of how much capital they have to like crush the competitors. But yeah, I don't know, like for so many reasons, I don't see this catching on. Like you said, the E-Trade UI is like so horrible. Another reason is like people have been trading these for a long time already without Morgan Stanley, so like they have their habits. And yeah, like I just feel like I've read this headline multiple times in the past. Like, X companies making a wallet, and then like they're nowhere to be found in a couple years.
You never hear about it again.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. This feels like Morgan Stanley showing up to the party late and being like, "Hey guys,
blockchain, am I
I'm
right,
cool
guys?
too." Yeah. But it's like, nah, we're doing like there's established players here already. Like, good luck.
I also find myself wondering when we see these like custodial entities offering what I assume is going to be a self custody wallet. There's got to be a weird expectation of like someone that is new being like, well, if there's a problem, Morgan Stanley can restore access to my wallets. And I feel like that's just like waiting for an absolute disaster to happen.
Hmm.
Yeah, this just feels like one of the big players being like, "Wait, blockchain is cool again?
Yeah, yeah,
Well, what do we do? Like, let's talk about launching a wallet in a year."
yeah,
Which
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
"Okay, calm down."
That too. Like, if they think they're gonna launch by December, like I don't know, dude. Very doubtful in my head. Like,
Yeah.
And also by that time, we don't know yet who will be ahead, who are going to be the main players in tokenized assets. They are, emerging, but so enough will be far ahead by that time that
hmm
Yeah.
their play is not going to be relevant.
Yeah. But you know what is relevant? Consumer electronics, especially when Kale wants a Bitcoin node in every home.
yeah,
Seems like that might be becoming a real possibility. So, this just came out. There is a electric water heater that is heating water by mining Bitcoin. Talk to me about this, guys. I love silly consumer electronics like this. So this got me real excited.
dude. It's silly until it's not. Like, I
Mhm.
love this so much. Like, just because I don't even know where to begin. So, like, basically, it's a Bitcoin miner, right? That uses so much energy that it like produces heat, and eventually devs were like, okay, well, what should we can like use this extra heat. And so, yeah, people started using them as like air heaters, which I have one that's like literally an air heater, but it's like not cold enough where I live to use effectively. And so, yeah, with this thing, it's like the same concept, but for water specifically, which I just love to see. Anything that's deep in, just deep in, by the way, is decentralized physical, what is it? Physical
Infrastructure?
infrastructure network.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, like any cool gadgets that like involve on-chain capabilities, I'm like typically a fan of, especially when it's like nodes in the home. So yeah, I'm like very excited for this. This is just like an example of the opportunities that we can, you know, explore with mining Bitcoin. We could do it with Ethereum even.
Yeah.
So it's a really
I
cool idea.
I do like when we use like off put like of one piece of tech to like do another piece of tech, and I think that's really cool. I just wonder like, can you not get hot water if the internet's down?
I mean, good question. I'm pretty sure it I mean, I'm pretty sure it works like a regular heater, but yeah, no, that's a great question because if it's mining Bitcoin and you don't have internet, who knows? But yeah, I know that it's like they're marketing it for cold areas,
Yeah.
obviously, and they say that you make on average an ROI of like $1,000 per year, which is
Mhm.
like, it's not.
Not
Not
nothing.
nothing.
Yeah, it's not nothing, and 'cause you don't get an ROI on your current water heater,
No.
so yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes. If I lived in a colder spot, I would for sure get one.
Yeah. Katya, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm actually really excited too, even though like I am as far from mining Bitcoin as you can get pretty much. Like I own one computer and it's like a web browser computer. But like I I am actually really not a fan of the entire like smart home trend. Like
Mhm.
I absolutely do not want my refrigerator ordering milk for me. Like absolutely not. I don't want any gadget like checking whether I need hygienic products. Like I don't need that. I don't want to like change my house temperature from 300 miles away and all that. However, I am a very big fan theoretically. I don't like own anything like this, but like a home that is positively productive of things that are like clean energy and things like that,
Mhm.
sustainable and all that. And I kind of see like Bitcoin mining house appliances as part of that. Like, because there is a sustainability component to it where it's using the heat produced that it's producing anyway to heat the house. And Bitcoin miners have been, inadvertently heating their houses with their miners for many years.
Sure.
Like, um, uh, so I remember this was like 10 years ago, or maybe even 15, when these memes started coming out, where it was like, you see that there's a town and all the roofs have snow on them, and one roof is like all melted, and they were like, in the 90s it was like somebody is growing weed, and now it's like somebody is mining Bitcoin, but you can tell. So I'm actually like, I made a mental note to research this more, and I would totally get a heater, like a regular heater, an air heater, or a water heater that's mining Bitcoin. I would definitely try it. Like, I would probably wait a couple of years before, like, it's not gonna explode on me or something. But like, and I'm sure, like, you make a great point about the internet, but I'm sure as these gadgets evolve, they're going to have like a secondary route where, like, if there's no internet, it just uses electricity, and like there's a
Maybe.
fail safe.
I mean, I think it was funny because when I read this, I immediately thought of CrowdStrike when Cloudflare went down. And there were a number of people that had smart beds that bricked themselves, and they couldn't use their smart
Right.
bed.
And
So
it just folded up on them. Oh
yeah,
wow.
and it was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
problem. And I'm like, ooh, everyone thinks the internet's gonna work all the time until it
Well,
doesn't. There was like,
I
oopsie.
yeah, and that's bad design,
Yeah.
and because, like, I am also really frustrated. Like, a lot of smartphones now, they are so plugged into like connectivity, internet,
dependent.
everything, that if you lose connection, even the shit that doesn't need connection, it doesn't work,
Yeah.
because it's just like it keeps asking for Wi-Fi or whatever, and if it doesn't get it, then it's just like, like, even the notes app won't open because it's like everything is so, and you're like, and that's bad design, because I think you can't, depend on everything working all the time, and increasingly so, like, because as we all know, extreme weather, disasters, all of that stuff is amplifying.
Yeah.
And it's actually, I've read, like, the industry that deals with disaster zones and whatever is actually like a growing huge industry, both for preparation and cleanup. So it's like a whole, economic section of being prepared for this sort of thing. So I think all of the gadgets, our personal gadgets, home gadgets, electronic gadgets, have to account for that. But once they do, like, my point is, like, I would definitely be down for that. Again, even though I've never mined Bitcoin, I've never looked into it seriously. I've never, I've never run a node for Ethereum or Bitcoin, but just because I'm too lazy to figure it out, not because
Yeah.
I'm opposed to it. If somebody makes it super easy for me like that, I'm totally down.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to try like a mini space heater that mines Bitcoin first before I'm like, let me hang my shower on this, because
Dude,
I'm not, as much as I'm a technologist, I do not want to do the cold shower stuff.
I'll put you on. I have one that's like really good, and I used to
Yes.
use it at my old spot, but it's
Okay.
called Avalon actually.
Okay. Well, shout out to Avalon, I guess.
Yeah.
Not a product placement.
Yeah,
Not a
actually,
product placement, not
we'll
sponsored.
cut that in the edit. I
No,
forgot.
no. Tweet at me, like, let's talk. So speaking of tweeting, Xing, Xing sounds like we're doing something sexual, but
Posting.
Vitalik just posted his plans for outlining the walkaway principle. Walkaway principle, what is it called, Katya? You're far smarter than I.
Yeah, the walkaway
Test.
plan test, the walkaway test. Yeah, you're right.
So talk to me about this.
Well, so the walkaway test is what it sounds like, which, well, actually, very much related to what we just spoke about, for things to work even under, the minimal and worst conditions, right? And to make sure. So this is his thought about Ethereum, that it should, and more surprisingly for me, he thinks it can be prepared for a walkaway test within years, a
Mm-hmm.
couple of years. And what he means by that is that even if, lightning strikes and nobody is working on the Ethereum main protocol, like, for years, it's still going to be fine. A project may or may not, like a project team, if a project team stops working, then the project may stop working, like a DEX or whatever. But the underlying protocol will keep on chugging no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And his, like, it's hard to disagree with the concept. Like, I think we all agree that that's ideal, something like that, especially if it's something like, all love to hear that Cloudflare thinks it should be walk away tested, and
Yeah.
things like that. So, but I am skeptical of his timeline and his belief that literally he says full quantum resistance, like that
In 2
Ethereum
years.
could be made cryptographically secure for 100 years. And he thinks this could be accomplished within, for Ethereum, and this is just one point of many. Like there's the proof of stake resilience, the resistance to centralization, block production, reliable, it's a bunch of points. So I think it's a no-brainer that this is something that we would want.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes me very proud that the Ethereum ecosystem and community is aspiring to this. But I was like, full quantum resistance within a couple of years?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're really smart over there, but
True.
The merge was already like 3 or 4 years ago. Like that flew
Yeah.
by. And like what progress have we made in 4 years? Like we've made progress, but
Made
nothing
the
like
blob.
yeah, like nothing like
Gas is
quantum
cheap now.
resistance. Yeah. But I mean like on the other hand though, like that's just me like being nitpicky, and like I kind of agree with Katya. Like 2 years seems very ambitious. But on the other hand, like this is why I love Ethereum so much. Like first of all, Vitalik is a boss. I love that he's rocking the milady, and I love that Ethereum has like a thought leader like this
Yeah.
to like guide things. And yeah, I don't know. Ethereum is just like such an altruistic technology.
he concluded the tweet with goes hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all
Ethereum goes hard, and this is the way with the, G,
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah, Vitalik is dope because he appeals to like smart old people and young people too.
Shout out.
No, no, that's not even what I was saying. I'm talking about like people like his dad even.
Kale has to report to HR now.
Yeah, dude. I'm just gonna stop digging myself in this hole. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Something about this was really exciting to me. I forget now.
I too am
but I'm
excited
still
by the
kinda-
fact that we have a thought leader that is kind of like helping to guide the protocol in a meaningful way, even though it's still community driven. Like this feels like the best possible version of art by committee rather. You've got a bunch of people weighing in, but you've also got one person being like, yeah, this. The real question I have is this Vitalik starting to be like, man, I'm tired of this. I want to retire. I want to walk away from this.
Maybe, but ultimately,
honestly,
like
if
this
he's
needs to
able
happen.
if he's able to achieve it, who cares what his reason is? Well-deserved retirement if he can make it happen.
100%. And you know, it's like a really fun thought experiment, just based off of like this whole concept of making Ethereum like completely autonomous. Imagine if humans go extinct and Ethereum is still going,
Mhm.
and then you take that thought like to the next level. Like, how many Ethereums are out there already that like advanced civilizations have created?
Ooh, I don't like that. I don't
And
like that
then
at all.
They don't exist anymore, and there's just like blockchains that exist.
That's
crazy to think about.
Terrifying, dude. That's terrifying.
No, but that is exactly the image that I had, like one of those sci-fi movies where like a surviving handful of people like find some kind of station and whatever, and they go in and they flip a switch and it turns on and it chirps and
Yeah, no, exactly, because that's what it
does
feels like
something.
Vitalik is doing. Like he said, he's preparing Ethereum to last like a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really exciting.
Well, now I'm gonna have weird nightmares.
A
I'm
little
showing up on an
unsettling, too.
alien planet. I'm like, oh my god, it's another NFT project, but
Start
What?
shilling at you penguins.
for sure, like I don't like that at all. So let's talk about the Zcash crash out, shall we? Kale, read us in on this, buddy.
The Z crash. Yeah, so if I read correctly, it was like literally one of the Zcash founders, or like one of the original devs. And also the same guy who was one of the founders was like helped to create Zashi wallet, which was Zcash's like premier wallet. So basically there was some disagreement in the org, and a group of like the main devs split off. They're like, okay, well,
See
we're
ya.
gonna go do this over here then. If you guys don't want to do what we want to do. But like on Twitter, like of course there was lots of like hearsay. Some people were saying that the Zcash devs like are literally abandoning the project. They're gonna go do their own thing, like start completely fresh from scratch.
Mhm.
But what's actually happening is they left the company that they were at, which was called like Electric Coin Company or something,
Mhm.
something ridiculous.
ECC, yeah.
Yeah, it's like actually Electric Coin Company. It's like the most middle school name I've ever heard. But they left
I like
that
it. It's kind of
place.
like 80s vibes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know, but they
Look, you
left that
called me old
company.
again for the
That
second
hurt.
time.
That
Yeah.
hurt my heart this time.
You walked into that one. Okay, wait.
Ouch.
So anyway, they left the Electric Coin Company to go start a new Zcash company. So they're not like completely abandoning Zcash. They're starting a
Mhm.
new Zcash venture. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see like how it goes. I'm not really a big fan of Zcash, but yeah, they're building. They're
I think
doing
it's
work.
interesting for me if we kind of like zoom out a little bit to kind of point at the importance of watching out for projects and like having them be your identity and you're like as a crypto buyer investor what have you, because at the end of the day all of these projects are just people. Like these are not protocol level things, they're just people making a thing, and they can have an inter-office squabble and then just be like deuces and absolutely destroy livelihoods, which I mean this did cause the asset to crash a lot.
Yeah,
A
another thing I
lot,
thought
but
was like really funny.
still,
Their new
like,
company
still
is
not a
called
lot.
Cash Z.
Gross. What were you
Sorry,
saying,
Katya.
Katya?
I said it crashed, but it's still like nothing compared. Like if you zoom out to even like 3 months ago when the rally started, like the crash that happened, and it's regained a bit since then. So like
True.
it showed some resilience. And like Kale says, I think at least the optimistic take on this. Obviously, there are different takes on Twitter and stuff, but the optimistic take is that they're just basically, they were the official developers, I guess, of Zcash, and now they're just developers on Zcash, but they're not like they've broken their affiliation with the nonprofit that oversees
Mhm.
Zcash, like the foundation, I guess, the Zcash version foundation. So they're still building on Zcash, and they're still building out the protocol. And so the optimistic take is that like this doesn't really make any difference, and it's
Yeah.
an internal squabble, but it's not gonna. But I think it does indicate how, like, we were talking about how like all the crypto companies need to put on their big boy pants and suit jackets and go. I think it indicates how like this is like crypto, especially like prominent crypto, like the top blockchains and the top projects are really like public companies now.
Yeah.
Like anything rocks the boat, and like the market responds. Like something happens, like somebody, you know, like gets caught,
In a
doing things
scandal of some sort.
yeah, exactly. And the price gets affected, gets tanked. So it's a whole new game. So they the rage quit, and this happened, and I guess it was worth it to them. I'm sure a lot of them have a lot of Zcash, like
Yeah.
these developers. So I guess it must have been worth it to them. And maybe it will recover like nothing happened and keep on climbing, and this will be just a little blip. It does show that, like, it was funny. We were just talking last week how it was the best performing coin of 2025. And like 2026 hits, and they're like, like,
Worst
Burn it
performing coin of the
down.
year.
yeah, burn the whole thing down. So yeah, you know, it's all real now.
Yeah. And to kind of dovetail on your point, I think you're right. Like these projects and all of these companies need to put on their suit jackets and start acting like CEOs of real companies and not naming their new thing Cash Z.
Dude, for real. Speaking of like buttoning up, even Polkadot rebranded from pink to black, which
Oh,
I
did
thought,
they?
yeah,
Really?
which
I haven't
like I
I
thought was
didn't see
really
that yet.
weird. Like if you're
Huh.
gonna rebrand that, have like I don't know. I feel like just go for a major rebrand at that point because your name is still Polkadot, which sounds silly, but
Yeah.
whatever.
I didn't even know that. I'm gonna have to look into that because I always liked the pink. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I don't think pink makes it unserious. We have like T-Mobile. Who else has pink in there?
no, exactly. Like I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys before, but when I first heard about Polkadot in 2020, I literally didn't invest because of the name. I
Mhm.
was like, it's called Polkadot. Like, why would I
Yeah,
buy this? It's what, Polkadot token. It sounded too silly, and that's coming
yeah.
from like a degen. So
Well, I mean, I think that's what the pivot to black probably is they're like, how do we get the degens to actually be interested in us again? Now that we're not just, the new hotness, now that they're kind of
mhm.
an established thing, how do they continue to drive that interest?
They need the Wall Street degens.
Well, and they also fired all their marketing team, and then like I don't even remember what happened with that, so I have no idea. It's probably just
What
again art by committee.
what is a Wall Street degen? Like, is it like American Psycho? Is that a Wall Street degen?
Probably
Like, what
guys
is
that are
Yeah,
trying to
it?
make like 6% a year.
I like that. A Wall Street degen. No, it's absolutely American
Put her
Psycho.
on a throw pillow.
Put it on a throw pillow. And especially put this episode on a throw pillow because this is the end, dear listener. Thank you for joining us once again for another week of everything you need to know that's going on in crypto and blockchain. We hope you feel smarter. You should, because we help you feel smarter. That's our entire point. So thank you once again. Make sure you leave a review wherever you get your podcasts, follow on YouTube, all that good stuff. And we will see you in the next episode.
But
Bye.
Bye.